Hello everyone, welcome to the Rage Traders Nrl Supercoach YouTube video. This is it, brand new channel, brand new Supercoach advice coming from myself, and I really hope you enjoy this segment. We're going to be basically talking about everything from the week that was, so round one, all the teams Supercoach sort of stats and what we are sort of black booking and looking out for. We're going to be talking about the team list, round two, vice captains, captains, trades, whether you should be trading in or out already, who you should be looking for to trade in if that is going to be your play and you want to be trading aggressively, and all the in-betweens. Obviously, there has been a very large amount of high scores in round one, and you know, generally we say teams start off a bit slower, but my gosh, were there some big scores even from front row forwards. But let's just get straight into it. Canberra Raiders versus Warriors. I don't want to speak about, you know, these games on and on and on, but we do want to cover a lot of the important players. I think Hosking, Horsburgh really need to have a look at them. Definitely Horsburgh. If you don't have Horsburgh in your team, he is someone that you're definitely going to be wanting to black book here. Having 61 in Supercoach points is absolutely huge for a cash cow here, and just looked really, really solid in the game. Literally kind of just felt like he was carrying Raiders in terms of just plugging in the meters, getting the ball going, and just getting the momentum going as well. I think the golden gem in this game, in terms of just like the Warriors getting pumped so hard, Tuivasa-Sheck getting a 73 is a really good sign. The only thing I'm kind of like worrying about is if Warriors really start poorly, what happens with the lineup? I mean, if he goes to fullback, that could be great. I do love him at the wing at the moment. I thought Warriors were going to go right a lot more than what they did, like from what we saw in the preseason. But then all of a sudden against the Raiders, they just kept going left and left. I don't know if you watched the game, but there was a play where it was literally last tackle, and they had two people on the left side and they were on the short side, and they still went left and nothing happened, and they just lost the ball, turned over. That's it. And it was kind of like they were forcing left way too much. And I started in one of my teams, Tuipiki, which didn't pan out well for this game. But he has like not too high of a price that I'm worried about. I think they can bounce back a bit. But I'd really be focusing on these three sort of players here, which is Horsburgh, Hosking, and Tuivasa-Sheck. I really like these players. Barnett with the 55 hurt you a bit, but still not too bad signs for a team that got beaten by 22 points. And Xavier Savage coming out with a 114, which is pretty crazy. But we do have time to look at Savage if need be, but I just don't rush into the Raiders. Starling did well as well, so keep him on your sort of black book, especially with Paddy getting a limited amount of minutes. But this is the Canberra Raiders we're talking about. Okay, so they're not an elite team. They might be getting better, but don't read into things so much, especially after one round. That would be my biggest advice. And don't over trade as much as you can. Yes, we are going to rage trade, especially with people like Luke Metcalf. Now, unfortunately and fortunately, so unfortunately, he had a horrible score. It just didn't go as we planned, but fortunately, a lot of the competition owned him. So you aren't, you know, picking a pod player and them doing horrible. You're picking a vastly majority owned player, and he did very poorly. Now, he is the most traded out player this week. I find that a tiny bit shocking, but understandable in a sense. But, you know, Warriors are a different beast at home. I do expect them to score at least 14 points against the Eagles at home. And they do have a couple of games coming up at Go Media Stadium. So I'm not rushing to rage trade him just yet. I want to wait and see. He had most probably one of the worst games you could ever think of. So I just want to see how they bounce back from that horrid loss. And that's what I'm going to do. Aaron Clark with a 47, not a huge amount of upside, but you don't know what could happen there. Not really too much else. Maybe Harris Tavita with the 51. Pretty good to see in a horrid loss again. But yeah, not much to go on from at the moment from the Warriors. Now we're going to go into the second game, which was the Penrith Panthers versus the Cronulla Sharks. By the way, I did watch every single game, so I'm getting a vast amount of sort of knowledge. It's not just like look at the scores and go off that. I watched every single game. It was really fun. It was really good. Panthers and Sharks was a cracking game. Cleary looked really good, looked involved in everything, and I think without Luai there, this guy is going to be a must-have very, very soon. I'm very, very scared to see the amount of points he puts up against these weaker teams, which is happening. So get ready for like even the next two rounds. If you're not an owner of Cleary, some big scores could happen, and that could really make it harder for you to grab him if you haven't grabbed him already. One person I was really, really, really impressed with, I spoke about this on the Supercoach Experience podcast, the first one I did, was Lindsay Smith. Just an absolute beast. 42 tackles, absolutely had a blinder of a game. I'll bring it up now for you, but I just think he's someone to really, really watch. He was just involved in sort of everything. His tank is just exceptional as well. I'm really, really happy with Lindsay Smith, to be honest with you. And it's someone who I'm watching. He had guys, I know this is going to sound crazy, but he had a base of 70. That is absurd. So the fact is that he had a base of 70 for 73 points in 60 minutes. Now, I know we have people like Payne Haas and Terrell May, but my God, is that some numbers that you need to be focusing on. That is really good. His PPM was 1.22. His break even now is 20, which I think is good. But also, I think I just want to monitor that a bit because it was one of those grindy games. And is this what we're going to see when the Penrith Panthers dominate? Maybe you're going to see a big drop off in the points there. And that's what I'm going to wait for this week. Hopefully, they have a really good game this week and they maybe just it's not as grindy. Then I get an indication of what Lindsay Smith is like going to do in that sort of realm. They are versing the Roosters, so we are looking at them putting on a bit more points here, or just it kind of being a bit of domination. I don't think it's going to be a 50-point game or anything like that. I expect it to be like maybe 34-10, something like that. But we shall see. Keep your eyes out on Penrith. Not too much I wanted to talk about in regards to like anything else. I think if you started with Yo, very nice. A 91. That's exactly what you want to see, if not more. You're obviously holding there. Nothing too much else to talk about with the Penrith Panthers, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, let's go straight to the Sharks. Again, with Ramian being the top scorer, 93 points. Fanua Blake, AFB, 92 points, which is great. And he got that try, which is awesome. So you can look at that as a good or a bad thing. I mean, getting the try is awesome, but also, you know, he's not going to score a try every game. So how do you see it like that? But again, he just got a 92, and that's exactly what you want to see. I was... Nico Hines. Now, I am a Nico Hines owner, and the only reason I picked him was because of their round 2 and 3 matches, and I'm this is where I was really intrigued to see how he was going to play. He had a really nice try assist against the Panthers, and sort of like he kind of does this thing where I mean, with Cleary, you're seeing him in the action all the time. With Hines, you see him do one thing and it's like, yes, he got a try assist, or yes, he got this random try. And then he kind of fades away for 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And then you're like, oh no, he scored literally 3 points in 20 minutes. And then he comes back and does a little thing here. It's not like continual, and this is the Trindle effect, but I did see more of him trying to do more things, I think. So they've got the Cowboys, which is great. I do expect a bit of a bounce back from the Cowboys, but I do think their defense is going to be horrible. I expect the Cowboys to score points here, but then they have the Rabbitohs in round 3. So this could be a really big sort of start for Hines. And I think if Hines starts really poorly after these 2 rounds, that's an indication to let him go. But if he drops a 118, 110, something like that, this is going to really be like the difference in the season. You're really going to want to try and find him then. They got the Bulldogs in round 4 as well, so just want to keep your tabs on that. But these next 2 rounds for the Sharks will be very, very important. Trindle had a 57, McGuinness 61, Brayley 62, which is nice. So if you did start with Brayley in your hooker position, that's actually nice. I think it's about a 8-9 point upside. Really nice to see. Stone Street, for those who went for the poddish play, unfortunate in this game, but I think you might see him get some really nice scores at 2 and 3, and that's why a lot of people would have picked him. And really, Mulatalo with a 28, that's why you never start with him. He's got that Greg Marju type of flaw in him. We'll see what happens in these next 2 games, because he could just pop literally 210s and you're like, I told you should have started with him, but we'll see how it goes. So that's Cronulla and Penrith. And to the next one, the whitewash game. One of the whitewash games was the Sydney Roosters versus the Brisbane Broncos. Now, one thing I did want to speak about, if you don't have Toya, you're getting him in. He is over Horsburgh, over anything. He is the number 1 person you should be trying to look for right now immediately. He's going to make you a ton of money. He is a great player. 1 line break assist, 2 try assists, 90 Supercoach points for an absolute cash cow in a game where they lose 50 points to 14. That is good signs. So when they are versing a team like the Cowboys or maybe the Raiders or the Warriors, this guy could go huge. You need to get this guy in. I'm not going to, I don't know how to pronounce this guy. Noah, just, you know who I'm talking about. It's, Mark, I think it's Mark, 57 points. Not too bad to see, but I still would just prefer, obviously, Toya in that situation. I think the biggest talking point for the Roosters is most probably Watson. 55 points in a 50-14 game. It's okay. I just think they're going to get less offensive takes. I was actually saying to, like some others, I want to see if his price drops a tiny bit, then you grab him. That would be kind of cool thing to do, because if you can grab him when they've got a bit of easier competition, that's when Watson could maybe make you some cash, and then you just kind of plug him in there. But they've got the Panthers, then they have the Warriors, which isn't so bad, but it is at Go Media Stadium, so get ready, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. And then round 4, they have the Titans, who we don't know, could actually be a very, very good team this season. I'm picking them to actually be in the top 8 and have a real good go this season. So yeah, just watch out for that. And then they have South. So there could be some points there. Just keep an eye on that. I don't think there's too much else to talk about in regards to the Roosters. The one thing I did want to sort of speak about just before that, obviously Sandon Smith, if you don't have him, he's another one. Sandon Smith and Toya need to be must-haves for you. If you don't have them, get them in. That will work for you very well. The whole forward rotation with Wong, it's just annoying at this point. There's no like 100% guarantee. White had 43 Supercoach points. Wong had 32. I'm glad I didn't start with either. Very happy with that, because it's just a wait and see for me. But yeah, nothing much to talk about there. Broncos, Reynolds, 105 points. I don't think anyone would have seen that coming. Payne Haas, 104 points. I think from memory, he is the most traded in player, and that is warranted. I mean, I actually had him in my team, but I was like, I can't have Terrell May and Payne Haas in my team. It's just too much. And here, Payne Haas comes out with 104. It is a huge score. Line break assist 1, try assist 1. The guy is just an absolute beast. It feels like kind of a redemption season for the Broncos and for Haas. Not to say like he was awful, but I just think that the Broncos were just way under par than what they should have been. And then you've just got these inflated scores. Don't read into this too much. Shibasaki, Goz, Hetherington was good, because I really liked Hetherington because he wasn't like try assists and line breaks and everything. It was just kind of like a basey game for him. It's good. I like seeing that. Pakes, really good to see. Again, inflated game. Don't read into this too much. Walsh with the 95 as well, and Arthur's with the 94. So I would just sit and wait and watch for these guys. I think Haas is good because you know what he brings to the table. You know what type of player he is. That's fine. But for the rest, I mean, you know, an Arthur's that can just do a 22 in a game, Shibasaki, Goz, these guys, I think wait and see personally as it is. Piakura with a -11. Unfortunate if you did start with Piakura, get him out. Maybe just go down to an Arthur's or a Toya if you, just go down to someone that you can make a bit of cash. You can't go down to a Toya and an Arthur's, but we'll get into the 2 RFs as well a bit later on. But yeah, let's go to the next game. That was the West Tigers and Newcastle Knights. Geez, when I saw the stat line of, I think, Tigers having 42 or 45 missed tackles, my jaw dropped. One person for me that I'm really not keen on at the moment is Seyfarth. I just expected a bit more like grunt and bass from it. I don't know. It's just like when I see 36 on his Supercoach points, and yeah, I think someone said to me, Brandon said to me from Supercoach Experience, he said, oh, he only played like 67 minutes. His points would go up a bit. He had to get checked for a HIA. I'm like, okay, so he plays another 13 minutes. Maybe he gets 6 or 7 points. Is that really enough to keep you there? When you have a Gilbert that's already done so much better. So he's one person I am looking at trading. Skelton got 62 points. A lot of people started with him. Just be wary if he doesn't score a try in a game, that score could look a bit iffy, but 62 is a great start for him. Terrell May was 78. That is awesome. That's exactly what we want to see. Galvin with 51. I did start with Galvin for the game that it was. I mean, I would just rather try and fit in Munster some way. I think at this point, Munster looked absolutely incredible, and we'll get to that a bit soon. I think if you did start with Bird, if you did start with Hunt, that is getting a bit scary for you. Hunt with 21, Bird with 34. So not too great. I think as I said, they do need to work on some chemistry and their defense. They are looking like a better team. Dewey is also a tiny bit of a worry, but hey, 41 doesn't hurt the bank too much. And for the Knights, my guy, very, very happy I started with him. Fletcher Sharp, 83. Marju, 83. Ponga, 82. I don't know if there's any updates here or anything changed, but this is off the Fox Sports website, by the way. So just if the scores are incorrect, just take it as it is. But very, very happy. Now, the one thing I like was Sharp looked involved in everything. Now, if you watch the game, he was doing support runs. He was getting the ball from Ponga. He was just in everything. Black book this guy because he could put up some really good scores. I think he is going to be someone who is cemented into the team, and if he doesn't, he's just going to be a great player. He's really hungry. Marju gets the try, Sharp gets a try, Ponga doesn't get a try, but gets 2 line breaks, 1 line break assist. So there were some close moments for Ponga. I expect Ponga. I'm really close to putting Ponga as my captain for this week, but vice captain is also the play as well. Kai Pearce-Paul with the 59 is really good. Lucas also was just paramount in this game. 75, absolutely incredible. 1 line break. He's someone that you should be black booking as well. We know what he can do. We know his caliber. Crossland with 51 is really nice. I had him in my team, took him out. Kind of regret it. I think Crossland's going to be really, really good to look at next season once Brayley goes. But yeah, really, really good to see. And yeah, the Knights just pull off a win, to be honest, that they most probably should have lost this game, but somehow they got out of it and somehow kind of it just went their way. So yeah, good work, the Knights. Good start-ish. But yeah, off to the next game. South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Dolphins. And I thought the Dolphins were going to have a cracker of the game, but South came out, Wayne Bennett, sort of vibe, aura, just said, hey, we're going to doing this. I know how these guys play, and they got the win 16-14. Joe Gray, great. Kolomatani, 65. Munro, unfortunate. If you did start with Munro, boy, was I scared because people were cheering. Now, unfortunate collarbone injury, so he's going to miss some time. My boy, Jai Arrow with a 62. Love to see it. I told you he'd have some value there, and he did. But that was based off like injuries and stuff. But look, I'm not going to talk about him too much. Humphreys looked absolutely amazing. Honestly, could just be a staple set in this team. Just wait and watch on this one. Maybe Black Book Humphreys. I think that is a viable play. I think a lot of people might even go Humphreys. This whole Metcalf scenario, people I think just want to get rid of him and they're over it. Hubner, if you started with Hubner, like myself, very, very nice. 45, that's exactly what you want to see. Mamma Zealous, man, I can't believe I went Pakes and switched him to Mamma Zealous. The fact that you're a hooker and in, I think, 73 minutes, you didn't take 1 run, that is really weird to me. In a game against the Dolphins as well, where you're actually winning, it's really scary stat. Like, I wonder if people walk up to him and go, but you know you didn't take a run that game. Does he be like, I'm not supposed to, or like, just didn't feel like it, or just weird, really weird stat line, especially from someone who touches the ball. And, yeah, it is what it is. Cody Walker with a 28. If you started with Walker, that is unfortunate. Tallis Duncan also with a 49 to keep notes on. Also, watch out for Isaiah Tass now with the injury. Most probably goes to winger, I'd say. So just watch out for that. That's going to be really important. And then going to the Dolphins, geez, if you started with Osako, really nice work. If you started with Plath, awesome work. He was someone a lot of people were monitoring. And the Hammer, 80 points. So really nice scores there. Unfortunate situation. If you started with Funafuiaki and Munro, boy, was it not your weekend. He looked really good. His PPM looked great. I was speaking about him in a podcast, and people were just concerned about his minutes. Unfortunate, at 48 points, he gets the HIA. He's not back this week for round 2, so that is a very unfortunate scenario. Jeremy Marshall King with a 57, which is kind of nice, is what it is. Just wish Donahue wasn't on the bench, so Marshall King JMK could be an 80-minute player. Nothing really much to go on there. Just keep your eyes on Max Plath as well. I want to see how they go against a bit of better opposition as well, even though they lost, but it is what it is. St. George versus the Canterbury Bulldogs. Boy, this was a cracker of a game, very fiery. Dragons looked really into it, really fired up at the start of the game, and then kind of just died off. Just let the end of the first half get away from them. 128 points. Tupulotu, is that how I pronounce it? Apologies if I didn't. 113 for Gutherson against the Bulldogs. Tab it up. He could make you some serious cash. Gutherson could be a great little play. Also, could just be, if you have him, a way to get to that high-end fullback. Really nice. If you started with Gutherson, props to you. Well done. Valentine Holmes with a 70. Nice to see, especially against Bulldogs. I feel like the Bulldogs' defense didn't look as good as what I expected to be at times, and they kind of let off towards the end of the game. Couchman, Toby. I think it's Toby Couchman. Black book this guy. He could make you some serious money. Gula, who I started with, 53 points for someone who's worth about 330K. I would just keep tabs on him as well. I think it's Hamish Stewart as well. Keep tabs on him. There might be some little plays you can do with the Dragons that make you some little money here and there. That's just going to get you to the next level to get those premium guys that you're really looking for. Nothing really else to talk about. DeBellum with a 40, Cook with a 42. So unfortunate if you started with those. And going to the Bulldogs, 103 for Tupanua. That's really good. I see a lot of people sort of trading for these guys. Again, I just want to see a bit more. I'm going to wait till like round 3 and go from there. Tracy with a 90. So if you started with Tracy, I think for memory, he's a center and a fullback. So that's a really nice play. You could easily go Tracy into your centers if you started with someone that just was a bit of a premium that didn't cut it for you. This is a really nice play you can look for if he is a dual center fullback. I'm pretty sure he is. And then Montoya was cool, 57. Burton with 58, kind of what we expect. Kickout 84, which is nice. And Kickout had the 2 line breaks assists and the 2 try assists. So that's a bit inflated. Unfortunate, Preston, in a game like this, I really expected him to get like 60 to 70, to be honest with you. Something just sort of that made us feel like, okay, Preston we sort of trust, but geez, was it a kind of a letdown in a game like this to see him get these type of points. Only 49. I wouldn't say it's a red flag, but just keep that monitored, especially for his position. You can go Preston down to Gilbert. You can go Preston down to Tuolangi. That's a joke, but you know what I mean. There could be value there to make some cash, 100, 150K, get someone that's going to make you money, and then pocket that cash and do something else with it. My boy who I talked about all season, not in my side, but geez, read my money. 20 points. 20 points with 4 runs. Mate, you're worse than Mademoiselle's, and that is something bad to say. So read into that as you will, but geez, that is awful. That is a rage trade. I give you full props if you have started with Reed Marnie to get that boy out of here. And you're most probably, if it's me and I'm going Reed Marnie, I'm either going to most probably Crossland or Starling. Depending on the draw. I really like Crossland for the draw that they have, but yeah, keep your tabs on that. The next game is Manly Sea Eagles versus my North Queensland Cowboys. We just didn't turn up when everyone in the start of the season was speaking about how the Manly Sea Eagles have 4 or 5 games at Pines Park and it could be an absolute whitewash games. Boy, was it actually this. Daly Cherry Evans, 130 points. Trebojevic, 113. Saab, 107. Olakau'atu, 100. Garrick, 86. The list goes on. Absolutely insane. Domination, they looked really, really good. The right-edged Olakau'atu looks good. I think a lot of people are going to be going Hopgood down to Olakau'atu, but I just really like what... And we'll speak about Hopgood in a second. Nothing really much else to talk about. Let me just tell you also something. Hopawati with a 66, great for 1 try assist and 1 line break. Had a $50 multi and hit everything bar Hopewadi scoring a try in a 42-point game as a winger, and it was returning 1,000 from 50. Rough. It is what it is. And Cowboys, let's just talk about how unfortunate this was to see. Drinkwater with a 72, which is surprising considering the domination. I think he got the late try at the end. Bateman with a 63. Watch out for that. I would just black book him. That is really good. Also, someone who I was having sort of looks at here and there, Sam McIntyre. This is someone else you need to be looking out for. I think he's about 350K. Let me just check this up now. Sam McIntyre, 396,500 as a 2RF FRF. So just keep your tabs on him. Because I don't think he has a high ownership. Break even of 28, projected for 45 on round 2. We don't really go into that much, but he is someone who I'd keep an eye on, especially for a little bit of a cash grab. I would say that is it for the Cowboys. Nothing really much else. Cohen Hess with a 37, who I did bail out on at the end. Cotter with a 39, which is underwhelming. Bateman's your really good one there, guys. So keep your tabs on Bateman and McIntyre. Nothing else much there, unfortunate. And obviously Purdue. I mean, it is what it is, right? We're just hoping a bit more attacking stats there from him. Duffy also with 27. Let these games play out. If Duffy gets bad, if it goes bad for Cowboys and Duffy gets named out, this is what I was talking about. Clifford comes back in. I just don't like Todd Payton as a coach, in my opinion. Things you could just find Clifford come back in, Duffy come out. Who are you going to? Good luck if that happens, because that will be a shitstorm if it does go down. Last game of the round. My jaw was dropped this whole game. First of all, Cameron Munster looked absolutely amazing coming back from these injuries. Boy, oh boy, he was in everything. Kicking, running, supporting. Pappenhausen even bombed a try that he should have scored. All Pap had to do was pass it to Munster, and he was going over again. The only thing, I think he had about a 26 base. Just be worried about that a bit, but hitting for a 99. Pappenhausen for 131. I think Pappenhausen had about a 26 base for memory. Actually, I do have it up here. So Pappenhausen had a 24 base, 80 minutes, of course, 131 points. So now he's looking good. 1.64 ppm. That is insane. But yeah, this was just an absolute demolishing. Out of all the games, most probably like the Brisbane, the Manly, and the Melbourne, even though they were all demolishings, the Melbourne one was just ridiculous. Everything was happening for them. Uda Kamanu, 34. Stefano, I think it is. That's really underwhelming, but there's just so much attack and tries this game. I wouldn't rage trade him yet, but look into that. Harry Grant with a 61. Look, there was just so much tries happening that the game wasn't really played correctly. That's just how it is. Katoa with an 85. I started with him. I think he's going to be the top scoring 2RF of the season. That's just my opinion. Howarth with a 96. So if Melbourne absolutely dominate, I think you are 100% getting Howarth in. Getting 2 try assists, not even a try that game, is really good as well. I think Howarth is at about 400K. Let's check this up now for you. 426K, $200, 426, 200. So that is really good. Definitely black book him. There's a lot of things that can be done this week if you did want to. Howarth could be one of those. I'm really liking Munster and Howarth. Meaney got your 98. But for the Parramatta Eels, somehow Brown scrapes in for a 73. Iongi for a 69, which is absolutely huge. If you did start Ioni and didn't go the 3-gun fullbacks, that's really good to see. Tuolagi, absolutely horrible. Honestly, Swiss cheese defense, just looked lackluster, looked unfit. Really, really bad to see. Lomax with a 47. If you started with Lomax, you've just got balls of steel, because up against Melbourne round 1, that's just asking to be beaten. A lot of people trading out Hopgood. I don't know about this. Hopgood just seems to... Guys, just remember that Hopgood just was in a game where they got absolutely demolished. Like, it wasn't even a proper game of rugby league. They were just, it was try to Melbourne. He still pulls off a 46-point base for 58 points. There is money to be made in Hopgood. I can understand that you going Hopgood maybe down to Ola. It makes sense. Just remember with Ola Kawatu, he is attacking, like he needs more attack for his points rather than Jermaine Hopgood. Hopgood has a better base. If I bring up Ola Kawatu, his base is 41, so he's not bad, okay? His base is 41, not bad. He gets 100 points, so if essentially he gets 59 points in attacking stats. Just be wary of that, because there are some games where Manly might come against a better competition and Ola doesn't get the tries or a try assist, and he's hitting you for a 40 or something like that. Just be wary of that. I can if you're going Hopgood down to Ola, I understand, especially with Manly start. I'm not saying don't do it. All I'm saying is Hopgood is basically a base machine, and I expect a bit more points increase from him as well. But do as you wish, rage trade if you must. Now, two people I did want to place on top of Moron Mountain. By golly gosh, Luke Metcalf is just a really, really bad game. Just looked like he didn't know whether to pass or kick it. Didn't really know what was going on there. Just didn't really have control of the game in any point. I thought there were times where he could have passed it and they had the extra man, and then he decided to run and attack the line. Found that really, really weird. And then there were times that like he just tried to kick it and just do nothing with it. The kicks weren't on. It just wasn't good. You could tell he was very upset with himself, though. That's one thing I did want to say. In the game, you could see how disappointed he was for himself. So just be wary of that. Don't read into it so much. He's not 600K, guys. He's not 700K. He's about 443K for memory. So don't overlook that at all, okay? I actually completely forgot who the second person I wanted to put on Moron Mountain was. I know that there was two, but we will get back to that. Let's get into the team list and the captains and vice captains you should be looking at for round 2, and then we'll get into trades and we'll call that a video. I hope you've been enjoying it so far, so please give it a like. Please give it a subscribe. Much more to come. So yeah, NRL season is back. Not too much to change with the NRL team list. I had a brief look at it before I started the video. I expect a big showing from the Knights here. Someone in my chat put a trade up of getting rid of Ponga. Unless you have the future in your brain where you know he's getting injured and you're just above tier and you're like some type of alien, please do not do this. Now, whether you want to start Ponga as your vice captain or captain, that is completely up to you. It's very scary to start him as your captain. I'm leaning towards vice captain Ponga, captain Cleary, but for these team lists, nothing much has changes. Adam Elliott returns after round 1 and takes over from the bench of Brodie Jones. And that's it. Finafuiaku, we spoke about this before, but concussion protocol, so he's out. Lamelu, so they're gone. So Keely comes in, and essentially, I don't see too much changes here. Mark Nichols comes in, Nick Rima comes in, Fegsy comes in, Bromwich comes in, Graham comes in, Tawa comes in. So Tawa is in the reserves, Graham's in the reserves, but obviously Nichols and Nick Rima, they're in the squad. So there is a bit of a boost there. Don't read into it too much. Warriors versus Eagles. I expect Warriors to be scoring points here. I expect a bit of a bounce back from Metcalf, even though they're versing the Eagles. I think Eagles still are going to be a team that let in a bit of points here and there. They're not. Don't read into this game where they've completely destroyed Cowboys, because we expect Cowboys to be a bottom 3 team this season, in my opinion, or definitely a bottom 4. But Warriors stick with the same 17. God have mercy. I'll say it every time until I see it again. TMM listed in the reserves. I feel like he should have been in the team. It angers me, but it is what it is. I'm not the coach. Eagles just have the one change. Josh Alawai coming in at prop for Siasua Takiaho. I hope I pronounced that right. And then we've got Panthers Roosters Friday 8 p.m. Get ready, because this could be a great score, a big score for Nathan Cleary. Really expecting something here. And this is another good watch for Lindsay Smith, who I'm very big on at the moment. Brian To'o comes in as well, so he lines up for the first game. Paul Alamotti shifts to center. Luke Gunner reverts to the bench. Casey McLean also back in, but with what you can do with Casey McLean is if he has a really good sort of next two games, you can kind of wait for the price change if you want, and then bring him in after the first round score drops. But it depends what he scores, right? So we'll have to wait and see for that. Victor Radley is out with a concussion protocol. And then Salesi Foketi has been promoted to the starting side at lock. And former Eel Makahasi Makatoa has been added to the bench. Billy Smith has completed successful hip and ankle rehabilitation and is listed among the reserves. So pay attention to the late mail there. Don't think much will change there. Dragons versus Rabbitohs. Oh my God, watch this game, because Clint Gutherson could have a big one as well. But experienced prop Blake Laurie returns from a hamstring injury and has been an injury and has been added to the bench in place of Ryan Couchman, who did his ACL. And that's why I like Toby Couchman so much, because of this injury. So if I say industry one more time. But yeah, Tyrell Sloan is among the reserves as well, so there could be a little changes there. And then Rabbitohs, Humphreys holds position. Fletcher Myers comes into place of the suspended Jack Whiten, while Bailey Bentley Haight makes his NRL debut on the wing in place of Tyrone Munro. Bailey Bentley, that is one cool name. Let's just check. Bailey, did I say that wrong? Bailey Bentley. Why is he not coming up? Nobody knows. Not coming up. Okay, well, we'll just leave it for now. But just pay attention to what his price could be. Could be a play. I wouldn't do it. Lewis Dodd has served his suspension and is listed among the reserves. But I think Humphreys is going to stay after them, especially getting the win. Taumalolo is listed amongst the reserves. Todd Payton. Jake Clifford with his hernia is listed as 18th man, but wait and see. I still think Duffy's just going to stay in. If it gets really bad for Cowboys, it could get really bad for Duffy. Jeremiah Nanai is back as well. And after 3 years with Lay Leopards in Super League, O'Donnell is set for his first NRL game since 2020. Sharks, Fitzgibbon has named an unchanged 17. That's really good to see. And I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game, that one, so get ready. We'll see what Hines can do in that one as well. Raiders versus Broncos, Saturday, 7:35 p.m. Pardon me. Hopewadi comes in, Chevy Stewart comes in, Levi comes in, Ethan Sanders comes in, Matty Nicholson, Asumar, Trey Mooney. Now in the reserves, we have Levi, Mooney, Stewart, Asumar, and Ethan Sanders. We still have on the interchange there Paddy. So we might sneak, 10 to 20 minutes off Starling. Simi Sasagi, Matty Nicholson, and Mariota on the interchange. So nothing too crazy there. And then for the Broncos, he hasn't made any changes, Madge, so that's good to see. Jock Madden has recovered from a hamstring injury to be on the extended squad. Tyson Smoothie is 18th man. And I think also Save It Savage got suspended. So in the backline wingers, Savage's 1 game ban sees Albert Hopewadi come into the side. So once the 1 game ban is over, Savage, I expect, goes back to the wing. Does Hopewadi take over Tamale? You'd hope not, because then you're not going to get your price change. And if you started with Tamale, that's going to hurt. But we shall see. Eels versus West Tigers. Holy moly. Well, Sean Lane comes back, and guess who he comes in for? Kelma Tuolagi. Wow, if you started with Tuolagi, that's just an auto trade. It is what it is. You hit, you went for the hit and you missed completely. It's just happens in fantasy. It happens to all of us. And then former Bulldog Jordan Samarani makes his NRL debut on the wing, taking over from Jake Targo. Keep your eye on that. While another former Bulldog, Kitoni Kartoga, has been added to the bench at the expense of Charlie Geimer. Hey, he's in my team. No. Oh, that hurts. Okay, so I've been dealt a blow. There we go. I've been dealt a blow. I just found out about that. That's unfortunate. Bulldogs Titans. This is going to be, I reckon, one of the games of the round to really watch out for. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be really good. Can't wait to watch Kinney, Brimson, Campbell, Tino. Tino's going to be a very big look. And this is a reason why I don't want to jump to Haas yet, because if Tino looks really good and you've done the trade to Haas, even though he has the 2RF, Tino, it could be something where I say, okay, I'm just going to wait for Horsburgh to make me some money, and then I'm going to shift Horsburgh to Tino. That is a play that I've been looking at. And this is why I don't want to over jump onto Haas, even though I think he's very good value, a very good player. I just want to wait and see. RCG is back, Regan Campbell Gillard for the Titans. And Josh Curran has served his 1-match ban incurred in round 3 of the preseason challenge and comes in on the bench for Harry Hayes. Josh Curran on the interchange. Okay, interesting. I feel like he should be starting, but that's just me. Kurt Mann is named again to start a lock, but may swap with Jermaine Salmon. Coach Des Hasler's first team for 2025 features big name recruit RCG, which we spoke about. Mo Fodawaker with skipper Tino at lock. Jeez, I'm excited to watch that. And that's it. Jaden Campbell, they team up in the halves. Brimson, it's going to be really, really good. And David Fafita and Jolliffe off the bench. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. So that is your week 2 team list. Now, captains, vice captains, what we're looking at here is who do we think, how are we going to play this? Now, I think a lot of us are going to go either vice captain or captain Ponga. That makes sense to me a lot. I think a lot of people are also going to be looking at Cleary this week and Nico Hines. What you can do, I think what I'm leaning to is vice captain Ponga into Cleary captain. I really expect it to be a big game. You could look at Hines if you're really brave. I don't see a lot of other things you could do besides those, like in terms of like playing it safe, but also being rewarded for just like the safe play. I think Ponga could be really, really good. And if he doesn't play that good, then you've got the backup of Cleary. You could also vice captain Cleary, go into Hines captain if you do have them both in your team. Also, Broncos could be a look at. I think Terrell May could also have a big game against the Eels, but I expect the Eels to bounce back heavily, and I wouldn't be doing anything in the Titans-Bulldogs game. Even Isaiah Yeo could be a great play for Panthers into the Roosters. I wouldn't go into the Eagles again. I don't think it's going to be like a 50, 40-point game to the Eels. I expect Warriors to really bounce back, and maybe if Metcalf drops a 60 or a 55, boy, are you going to hate trading. So let's talk about the trades. There's my vice captain captaincy sort of opinions. I want to talk about the trades. So first of all, we're going to talk about, at the moment, the top 5 most traded out and most traded in. So at the moment, the most traded out from least to most, we've got Peter Mamouzelos, Hines, Seyfarth, Purdue, and Metcalf. Most traded in, Payne Haas, Jack Gozowski, is that how you pronounce it? Satili Tupanua, Savelio Tamale, and Ethan Strange. Okay, so what we're seeing here, I thought Hopgood was in here, but I guess I was wrong. Really, really surprised by this because I just think this is exactly what the channel is, rage trading, and this is what you're seeing a lot of. I guess around the Hines trade, people weren't just happy with what they saw, but boy, oh boy, with their next 2 games, do you really want to do that? I don't know exactly what you're going down to Hines from that is really going to, I mean, if you have Dylan Brown, you can put him up. He got 73. You're happy with that. And then you sort of bring Ethan Strange into the 5/8. I think the only viable trade personally for me I can see here is Alex Seyfarth, because I don't think he's a huge attacking player. I'm just not willing to do that yet. But Peter Mamouzelos, I guess people are just going straight to like a Starling, a Pakes, or a Crossland. I would say that's your play. I want to wait one more round because then I can guarantee the price rise. Because what can happen here is you can go Peter Mamouzelos down to Pakes. You get some money and you're like, his break even's good and I'm good. Now, if Pakes has a shocker, he gets 30 and then it all goes to crap, you've lost your opportunity and now going to another hooker that's going to guarantee you money. So if Starling gets 60 or an 80, I can wait and then go down to Starling, get that guaranteed price grab, and then play it a lot safer like that. The fact that, and Luke Metcalf, by the way, in terms of numbers, 8.7%. So 8,325 people have traded out Luke Metcalf. That is insane in saying that, but that's exactly, people are just rage trading. They are like, nope, I am completely off you. Horrible performance. And I think what you're going to see a lot of, me personally, I try to make money and get to Munster. I think a lot of people are going to Ethan Strange here from Metcalf and just taking it as it is. But boy, oh boy, could that backfire on you. So try and be a bit patient here. If I had to rage trade someone, obviously it is Metcalf. I don't want to do anything crazy as of yet. Seyfarth is my play. I really want to go to like Seyfarth to maybe Tupanua or Gilbert. I think that's safe. If I could get to Lucas, I would do that. Or Couchman. Really like Couchman. I'm really close to going Seyfarth to Couchman, especially with the injury. I just want to see the minutes there. That's all. Even Bateman looks nice, but a bit more expensive. But Tom Gilbert getting a 64 from 462,000 is absolutely beautiful. I really, really like seeing that. Let me know in the comments below. Are you trading? Who are you trading? And what are you doing it for? That would be really, really good to see. I also wanted to see, I was really hoping to see that who got played really poorly this week, because I keep forgetting who my second Moron Mountain is. But on top of the Moron Mountain with a giant flag is your boy Metcalf. So I guess that's why he's at the top of the trades. I think we're going to leave it at that. The one thing I did want to speak about just before we head off is just some players I wanted to shine light on. Now, Payne has 104, 45 in base. That's great. Just watch out because the base of Munster was 23, highly inflated game, but they are, I think, going to be the #1 team this season to beat. Base of 24 for Pappenhausen. Ola Kawatu, we spoke about it, had a base of 41. Also, a little shiner, Patrick Carrigan, 67 minutes, 59 in base, 93 points. Very, very nice there. And Lindsay Smith also did good, but having a base of 70, which is just whoa. So yeah, keep your tabs on there. Let me know what you think of what we did in this video in the comments below. We'll try and get some graphics around it. I don't know if it's going to be 100% perfect, or maybe the way we're going to do it for the rest of the videos and stuff like that. But let me know what you thought of the video, any improvements you wanted to see. This is the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach first video ever. Once again, please like, subscribe, comment. Catch you on a lot more videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Good luck and get #1. Let's get that win.